The sheriff rested his hand on his holster, sizing me up like I was some outlaw. Brenda, wearing a lime green visor and gripping her HOA clipboard like a weapon, jabbed her finger and shouted, "That man's trespassing! Arrest him!" I stood there, boots sinking into dirt I've owned for 12 years, wondering how I became an intruder on land that funds the sheriff's office, the HOA clubhouse, and Brenda's perfect lawn. This one would go down in history. It all started when I returned from a 2-week Colorado trip. My ranch hand, Walt, had kept things running smoothly, fed the herd, fixed the pump, even sent pictures to prove everything was fine. But the gate? He probably forgot to lock it. That's how Brenda likely got in. I pulled into my driveway, ready for a beer and dog scratches, but instead found lawn chairs, orange cones, and a crooked, private property no trespassing sign nailed to my fence. I laughed at first. Then Brenda strutted up like she owned the place, sunglasses on her forehead, walkie-talkie in hand. "You can't be here," she snapped, blocking my truck like her khakis could stop a Dodge 3500. "I've called the sheriff." I thought it was a prank, maybe a viral stunt. But no, she was serious. 10 minutes later, Sheriff Judd pulled up. We've known each other since we were teens. I expected him to laugh it off. Instead, he looked at Brenda's clipboard, then at me like I'd just robbed a bank. "She says you entered without permission," he said slowly. "Judd, you've grilled burgers here. You know this is my land." "Got proof?" I wasn't about to dig through my truck, so I pulled out my phone, opened the scanned deed, and showed him. His face went gray. Brenda peeked over and stuttered, "That can't be right." "Oh, it is," I said, stepping out. "And that plot your house is on? Built 5 years ago on land I leased to the HOA Silence." Brenda tried to protest. "The HOA maintains this." "You've got what I allow," I replied. "And that sign you nailed up? That's Granddad's oak. I'd like to file trespassing, too." Judd handed me back my phone. "Checks out." "You're not arresting him on his own land?" she gasped. "No misunderstanding," I cut in. "She's on borrowed ground. I own under the clubhouse and your rent, Brenda, is jumping." Brenda backed off. But she wasn't done. By morning, a new HOA notice was taped to my gate. My parked tractor now violated decorum standards. I laughed. Then another came. My barn, used by my family for generations, was now unauthorized animal housing. A third said my poker night was an unpermitted gathering. This wasn't revenge. It was war. I called Eli, a surveyor buddy. He rolled in with stakes and flags. Brenda charged out in slippers, robe clutched like a shield. "What's this?" "Marking legal lines," I said, sipping coffee. "Some folks are fuzzy on boundaries." Turns out, her garden and sidewalk trespassed 3 feet onto my land. I built a split-rail fence with a locked gate. Mine. She called Judd again. "He's trapping me," she wailed. "He gave you a key," Judd sighed. "Harassment. The HOA will handle you." "Good," I smiled. "Been meaning to visit?" I checked the county records. The HOA clubhouse land, leased from a trust my grandfather set up, now mine. 10-year deal, renewing every 5 unless breached. Harassment or misuse cancels it with 30 days notice. Jackpot. I had my lawyer Nora draft the termination, drove it to the HOA office and taped Brenda's copy to her mailbox. Her face was priceless. "You think you'll scare me?" "Not scare. Business. Bring more than a clipboard. I've got deeds, leases, and lawyers." She had no comeback. Within 48 hours, she called a town hall on safety concerns. Flyers everywhere painting me as a threat. I showed up early, flannel neat, grin steady. Brenda stood up front, yelling about laws and fences. I raised my hand. My turn. I handed the projector guy a USB. Slides lit up. My deed, lease, drone shots, footage of Brenda putting up signs. "This isn't public land. It's mine." A guy asked, "She fine you for cows?" "Yep. Ranch livestock is suspicious now." Brenda yelled, "He mocks the process." "No. I mock your ego." She snapped, "I filed a civil suit." "Glad you brought it up." "I countersued yesterday. Damages, defamation, trespassing." With footage, court came fast. She'd rushed it, hoping to catch me off guard. I brought a thick folder and Nora, who dismantled Brenda's case with deeds, footage, even a note from Judd. The judge tossed her suit and kept mine under review. Warned her to stop the antics. This wasn't about fame. It was cleanup. 3 days before the lease auto-renewed, I served an eviction notice. Notarized. Posted it on the clubhouse and county board. Lyle from the HOA begged me to delay. Brenda had gone too far. No delay, I said. Pack your files. Locks change soon. That night, Brenda was caught on my cameras in all black, snipping my fence with wire cutters. Sheriff Judd booked her for trespassing. Strike 3. Neighbors thanked me. One even brought cookies. Peace returned. 2 weeks later, Brenda's house hit the market. She'd leveraged it for legal fees. It went into foreclosure. I bought it at auction for $1, not for spite, but to block her kind from returning. Now her yard is open. A guest spot for kids and visitors. Brenda's out there, spinning martyr tales. But here, it's calm. No fake fines, no HOA nonsense. Just breeze, work, and cattle at dusk. And if anyone ever asks about the fence or the cams, I just smile. Because the #1 rule, don't call the sheriff on a rancher, unless you know who pays his rent. Moral of the story: never judge or challenge someone without knowing the full story, especially when it comes to property and power. Arrogance and entitlement can backfire, but truth, patience, and rightful ownership will always prevail. Respect boundaries, legal and personal, or you might find yourself on the wrong side of the fence. If you like this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with family and friends. Thank you.